Hi everybody, it's Peter here, Precision Fit Golf. Hope you're all keeping well. This evening's discussion is around adapter technology. You probably see it in a lot of your clubs, woods, hybrids as well. We're going to talk about when you should change the settings on the adapter and when you shouldn't change the settings of it. So let's get into that discussion straight away. Hi everybody, it's Peter, Precision Fit Golf. Hope you're all keeping well. Hope you enjoyed the Masters. Great to see Scotty Scheffler winning the event. Obviously world number one. He's playing the best golf at the moment, playing very, very casual. Hard to believe, like he just goes out and plays his game. Doesn't get too stressed from what I can see. It looks amazing. So well done, worthy winner. We mentioned a few weeks ago, we were talking about shafts. So obviously the first discussion was around shafts and flex, showing that there is no standard as such, that every manufacturer makes shafts based on their own philosophy. Doesn't necessarily mean that a flex from one manufacturer is suitable with what you should be using. They're all different. We don't really start to follow the information that they give you unless you're seeing data which proves that it is an optimum shaft for you, or okay, whatever they're offering. From there, we went on talking about the installation of the shaft. So whether it's a driver, whether it's a wood, whether it's a hybrid or an iron wedge, the shaft and the head need to be installed in the correct orientation for you to hit the ball out of the center. A lot of clever marketing out at the moment talking about particular club heads where they have sweet spots all across the face. I don't really buy into that, guys. You'll never see a professional being satisfied with hitting the ball off the toe or the heel. They always want to hit the ball out of the center. And that is why the club and the shaft need to be installed correctly to give you that maximum efficiency. And trust me, as a beginner golfer, you need that level of forgiveness in the club if you're going to play consistent and shoot scores, okay? The next thing that we were going to get onto was the whole discussion around adapters, all right? So someone came up with the idea a number of years ago about adapters for woods. Now they've gone on to, you can get them in hybrids, you can get them in fairway woods, but mostly you get them in drivers, okay? The whole idea of the adapter initially was that you could play around with the idea of the face angle, you could play around with the loft. Now, what we're going to touch on tonight is not really concerned about playing with the loft, even though loft is important, and we'll discuss that in the next video because I'm going to show you a couple of things around loft, how we can help you hit the ball further, how we can help you hit the ball more accurately. But for tonight, what we're going to talk about more around is the idea around face angle, okay? Most of the manufacturers out there at the moment, they give you versatility when it comes to the adapter, in that you'll be able to have a square club face orientation, you can have a closed club face orientation, or you can have a fade biased orientation. So what that means is that you can hit the ball based on whatever shot shape that you see fit for your game. Now, what I would say to you is from the beginning is that if you're playing the same course over and over again, and you notice that the holes are all sort of calling for a fade, like for example, Carrick-on-Shore up the road, first hole relatively straight, fade is probably the safest shot. Third hole calls for a fade. Fifth hole probably calls for a fade. Seventh hole calls for a fade. Eighth hole calls for a fade, right? There's only one or two holes on that particular course where a draw is required by the golfer, okay? So if you think about that and you're a beginner, 90% of the shots you're going to hit are a fade, right? In which case you have two options when it comes to choosing an adapter on the driver. You set it up in the square face orientation, and then what happens is you may hit the ball straight to a fade based on your technique, your ability, right? Amazingly enough, there are a percentage of golfers out there who would prefer to have the club face sitting slightly open because they are naturally trying to encourage a fade. So they just focus more on squaring the club head and let the face angle of the adapter create the flight that they want on the course, because it's easier to control a fade than it is with a draw. When you have a fade, you're increasing spin, which means that the ball has a better chance of pulling up quickly on the grass, okay? You may give up a few yards, but trust me, it's way more accurate in the long term, right? When it comes to the draw situation on an adapter, it's basically meaning that the face is now slightly closed, okay? If you're playing on a course that requires more draws off the tee, then going with an adapter in a draw bias setting is probably the best solution for you, okay? Now, that being said, getting back to the discussion in the previous video, we talked about the shaft and the head, how they need to be installed in the correct orientation for you to hit the ball out of the middle of the club. It's imperative that you don't change the settings once the shaft is being built by a club maker in that particular setting. And the reason is because you're going to hit the ball more out of the center of the club. So if you have an idea in mind where you'd like to fade the ball or maybe draw the ball, it's best that you tell your club maker that, look, can you set the adapter up in the face angle position that I want based on the course that I play? And once we've done that as club makers, we can then install the shaft in the correct orientation. And what that means is you'll hit the ball more out of the middle of the club than you typically would, say, from a retail purchase club, okay? And then you're also going to get the face angle orientation that you want to give you the shot shape on the course that you will typically play, okay? Some of the videos I suppose we're going to show here, you can see some of the manufacturers, you can see face angle described, like you're talking about subtle little draws or subtle little fades. Some will even say that they can set the adapter up to give you a square face orientation. But trust me, guys, when it comes to playing golf, hitting a straight shot is next to impossible. You'll see most pros and most low handicap amateurs, they're always trying to play a particular shot shape. If they have a shot shape that they're comfortable with, they will tend to stick to that most of the time. Okay, really, really important. The other thing I would say is this, and it comes back to the first video when we discussed about shaft flex and shaft weight, okay? If you set up the adapter in a particular orientation for the shot shape that you like to see on the course that you play, if you're using the wrong shaft, it can actually accentuate the shape. It can actually make it really, really exaggerated. So if someone sells you a shaft that's too soft or that's too heavy or too flexible, and you have it in a draw setting, chances are that club will flip on you at impact. And you, instead of getting a nice draw, you'll probably get a hook situation, all right? Consequently, same thing if you set up the driver with a fade biased and someone sells you a shaft that's too light or too flexible, you're going to come into impact with that face angle pointing more to the right than you actually want. And you may see a situation where your drives lights launch a bit higher and they may go further to the right than you actually want, okay? So what I would say is that adapters are a great idea when it comes to clubs. It gives you a bit of versatility, but it is important that you have it set up in advance of the assembly of the club. Talk to your club maker. That's what we're for. I'm not talking about a retail situation or going into a pro shop. I'm actually saying talk to your club maker in person and say, look, this is the course that I play. This is the shot shape that I want to see. Can you build my driver with this orientation in mind? And once you've agreed on that, then you basically install the shaft in the correct orientation. You're going to get the shape that you want, and you're going to get a bit more consistent than you typically would over a retail fitted club, okay? Once again, I hope you found this interesting. If you have any questions regards adapters or installation and how we actually put them together, please just reach out to us as usual at peter@precisefitting.com or contact us on any of the numbers that are listed on the website. Once again, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Like I said, I look forward to talking to you again soon, all right? Take care. Bye-bye.